from the ground up. Probably one of the most important courses on my website at the moment. And it's because I'm going to teach you step by step the fundamentals of boxing. See, you want to make sure you have a good foundation. You have good fundamentals. It's no different than building a house, right? You want to have a solid foundation so you can build on top of it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you the same way that I've taught hundreds of people throughout the years from owning a gym. I've also had the opportunity to work with numerous world-level professional fighters, amateur fighters at the Olympic level, and they all had one thing in common, and that's good fundamentals. And you have to have a solid foundation if you want to go ahead and building on top of this, all right? But this is just a really good starting point. So for all my beginners out there, intermediate and advanced boxers, let's go ahead and let's get started. You already know. Yo, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, man. If you in here right now, just want to say thank you for pulling up. We're going to talk for a minute. I'm going to wait on my boy, Eddie Chambers, to come in here. He's going to come in here and chop it up with me. And we got a lot to talk about, man. We got to talk about the Romero situation. We got to talk about Caleb Plant and Canelo. We got to talk about Jaron boots Ennis over the weekend, man. And who better to talk about this stuff with me than the one and only Fast Eddie Chambers. What's up, my boy?
What's up, man?
You can hear me, kid? My audio's good?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay. You see the commercial I did for my new course?
No, I missed it.
I'm about to play it for you.
You might have to put it up there again.
Yeah, this is build you from the ground up. Probably one of the most important courses on my website at the moment. And it's because I'm going to teach you step by step the fundamentals of boxing. See, you want to make sure you have a good foundation. You have good fundamentals. It's no different than building a house, right? You want to have a solid foundation so you can build on top of it. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you the same way that I've taught hundreds of people throughout the years from owning a gym. I've also had the opportunity to work with numerous world-level professional fighters, amateur fighters at the Olympic level, and they all had one thing in common, and that's good fundamentals. And you have to have a solid foundation if you want to go ahead and building on top of this, all right? But this is just a really good starting point. So for all my beginners out there, intermediate and advanced boxers, let's go ahead and let's get started. You already know.
Okay, man. I see you got that technique down too, man. What's up? Do you really need me for some of these videos?
You know what, man? The one that we just did over the weekend and the one that we're going to work on next weekend, I'm hoping to get these out ASAP. Man, the people going to love it. The people going to love it. The people going to love it, man. The ones that we just recorded and then the ones that we're going to record next week. Yeah, man. But what's going on, man? Did you see all the craziness that's going on right now?
I did. I did.
So
Unfortunately.
Man, before we get started, let me say what's up to a few people who pulled up here. I want to say thank you to the people who pulled up here. We got my boy No Ferez. What up, Coach? What's going on, champ? We got Naruto. What's going on? We got Francisco. What's good, Coach? What's going on, champ? My man Raha just purchased your ground up. It's blessing my gym. Thank you so much for the love and support, man. I appreciate you getting it. It's a fantastic course for beginners, man. The fundamentals is key. Eddie, can you touch on the importance on the basics? Because I feel like fighters nowadays they think they're over the basics. You know, they think, I already know that. I don't got to do that no more. Teach me the more complicated stuff, the counter punching, the slipping. Can you just explain to people, from you being a professional fighter for almost 50 pro fights, the importance of the basics?
Listen, you never are too good for the basics. The basics are what are the foundation of everything you are in boxing. It's how you find out what style you have, how you build your style, everything. Look, you never leave the basics. The basics are always going to be something you can rely on. You know what I mean? So you never, and I can hear myself. This.
Do you have an echo going? Do you have something playing like the same thing playing like somewhere?
Nah, I can hear it, but I don't know why.
Back out, and come back in.
Okay.
I'm gonna kick you real quick. I have to kick Eddie for a second, little technical difficulty. But yeah, y'all already know the vibes, man. Just so y'all know what I got going on. This was random. I was talking about this last week. This is going to be called No Days Off November. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking to build something. So I'm going to go live every single day around 8 p.m. I'm thinking 8 p.m. is the time. 8 p.m. And I'm going to go live. We're going to go ahead. We're going to talk. We're going to chop it up. I'm going to bring some of you guys on. We're going to do Q&As. We're going to talk about, of course, the Canelo fight coming up this week. That's going to be a lot of the videos and everything going on. We're going to talk about the Rody situation. But let's bring Eddie back in here. Talk, Eddie. See if you still got the echo going.
Hope not. I still hear it, bro.
I couldn't answer you why you got it.
I don't know. Let me see something.
You don't have something playing somewhere in the back?
I can still hear it. I don't know why it's doing this.
That is weird.
I can try to. Can you hear it?
I don't hear echo. No. Does anybody else hear an echo? I'll tell you what, Eddie. I'm gonna send you a new link.
Okay. Drop back out.
Oh, you know what? Eddie, let me try something real quick. It might be this. Hold on.
Okay.
Try this. How about now, Eddie? Talk.
Yo. Yeah, it's good.
It's good
I don't
now?
hear nothing. Yeah, it's good.
All right, cool. We good. All right, I fixed it. It was on my end, guys. All right. Let's get started, man. All right. So just so you know, Eddie, what I'm doing something right now. I was just telling the people I'm doing No Days Off November. And
Okay.
what I want to do is I want to come live on YouTube every single day for the month of November. Now, how long are the lives going to be? I don't know, depending on how good they are, right? I mean, they might be 1 hour one day. I've been known to do 3-hour lives. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the goal is to talk about everything from boxing, upcoming situations, boxing techniques, nutrition, and I would love to have you on as much as possible because the people love you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how much you can commit to that, but just letting you know what I'm doing. So I'm coming on here regardless. But if you come on here, that'll be great. You know what I mean?
Okay. I'll drop in as much as I can.
If y'all want Eddie to come in and shed some of his boxing knowledge, we're over 100 fights, almost 50 as a pro, probably like 250 as an amateur. I know you probably didn't, you don't even remember how many fights you had as an amateur.
I don't.
Let me know in the comments right now if y'all would like to learn from Eddie as well. You know what I mean? I feel like boxing, a lot of people be like, oh man, I want you to demonstrate, but people don't know how much they can learn about boxing just through conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I done had conversations with people who know so much about boxing, and I've learned so much just through conversations. You feel me? So don't overlook the power of just talking about boxing. You know what I mean? And techniques and stuff. It'll build your IQ.
Mm-hmm.
So did you hear about the Rody situation? He is out the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So he's being accused, obviously, of some accusations with some females. I really didn't like talking about it. The only reason I talked about it is because obviously it's affecting the Tank Davis fight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to talk about the accusations because I don't want to bash his name without any evidence.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
A lot of people are real quick to jump the gun. Yeah, he's this. Yeah, he's that. And I also don't want to be the guy who is not sensitive to the female if she happens to really be telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to stay out of that part. But unfortunately, he's being accused of some sexual assault, and I think he decided to pull himself out the fight. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, if you got to be 100% dedicated and focused on a fight. If you're going to be fighting, you don't want to have anything behind you looming, taking your focus off of it. This dude is about to try to knock your head off. So that's the most responsible thing I think he could do at this point if he actually did it. It took himself out of the fight, because you don't want to have this kind of thing going on also and it just mars the whole, the importance of the fight and what's going on with the fight, because now all people want to do is, focus on the drama, the dramatics. You know what I'm saying? They want to see, oh, he somebody trying to come at him about sexual assault. No, we don't want to focus on that. We want to keep this boxing, stay away from all of that crazy negativity like that. I'm not saying that she's wrong or he's right, or whatever, because we don't know what's going on with the case. However, in this situation, you want to keep it boxing. So you want to definitely go away from whatever going on in his personal life, and with his girls or girl, whatever. You know what I mean? And just like I said, just keep it boxing, moving on to something else, and allow him to get himself together. And then once all of this stuff is done and this problem is eradicated, then he can come back.
So
but right
agree,
now,
you agree. So you agree that he shouldn't be fighting?
Absolutely. If he's got this going on, as much as I would have loved to see him get in there, and to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of his, so I would have wanted to see Tank go ahead and take care of business.
What made you say you're not the biggest fan of his? Because I get a lot of people who say stuff like similar to what you're saying.
It's not just his attitude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's probably most of it. The way he thinks he's arrived already. And I'm not saying that you're not supposed to be confident, but you still should have some humility and some respect for the situation you're in and who you're facing. So, but I mean, look, if the guy comes at you wrong, that's one thing. Then y'all can, do whatever you got to, you can handle it how you want to handle it. But boxing is a sport, I feel, of gentlemen. Most of the fighters I've ever been around have all been respectful to me and to others. Even if you have a little bit of an issue with a guy, most of the time, after the fight's over, is resolved. You know what I mean? And even before that, there's still some respect shown. I just don't see a lot of that with him. And I don't see his resume and why he feels like he's that tough and why he feels like he can do what he can do against a guy as elite as Tank. But then again, he should feel that way.
Why do you think guys are acting like that more and more lately? Like we just saw over the weekend, somebody who I helped out in Orlando when I was with him. A lot of people assumed that I was part of his camp. You know what I mean? I helped him out for a fight in Orlando, which he won the fight. And he just fought over the weekend by the name of Josue Vargas. That's my boy. Salute to Josue Vargas. Salute to his, his whole team. I got a lot of love for them guys. But even him, he was pushing and acting very, I don't know, kind of disrespectful, right? Then he went out there. We saw what happened to him. And, I hate to, bring it up. But the thing is, I don't know where he got the thought of, I'm going to act disrespectful. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why he felt that he had to do that. We've seen other fighters do that as well. Why do you think this is becoming a new trend for the younger generation? Because you said it yourself, and I come from, basically your era where guys who could fight really were the nicest people you can actually, you know what I'm saying? Like you would not even know they were fighters. You would say to yourself, "This is the guy." And where did this start? When did this become a thing?
Well, I think social media has made it so much more popular. As much as I love what Floyd's done for his career, and now he's one of the the richest, wealthiest, let's say, athletes on the planet. But what he's done is he's used the social media and used the negativity that people, the light that they shed on generally on athletes or on fighters in general. And they say, okay, we're going to villainize them. And he said, I'm going to villainize myself. I'm going to make everybody hate me, but they cannot miss the fight. They're going to all watch the fight because they want to see me lose. So I think a lot of these other guys are starting to look at that and say, oh, man, that's a great thing. You know what I mean? Sorry. Man, I lost my train of thought. But
you said that guys are gonna think that's a great thing to act a certain way.
Yeah, they feel like they're gonna be able to kind of duplicate what Floyd was able to do and make themselves popular, you know what I mean, for kind of being a jackass, you know what I'm saying? And it can work.
Now, let me stop you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't like that.
No.
You were very humble, obviously. You took boxing more for sport, but do you think that can hurt you also being too humble? Because when you're
absolutely
too humble, now people can pay attention to you as much.
I think for sure. Like for me, it was all.
Where's the fine balance?
I feel like,
or can you even balance it? Either you got to be the complete
you can,
or you got to be the complete nice guy. But if you're the real nice guy, it seems like you really got to be good. Like for instance, Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was extremely nice. Not just good. You got to really be knocking jokers out. Like it feels like if you want to be really nice, you got to be a guy who's really mean in the ring, kind of like a Jaron Boots Ennis.
Yeah,
that kid got a big smile. That kid is really nice. It seems like but when he gets in that ring, he's a freaking animal, right?
Right.
It seems like if you're gonna go that route, you got to go that route. Or if you're gonna be not that good, it seems like you got to be more.
You got to have more personality. Yeah, you got to. Well, with like Boots and Pacquiao, they look at it as performance and they enjoy what they're doing. You know what I mean? I'm not saying the other guys don't, but you can just see it, and it's just like it exudes from their body, like the aura you see from them. They love it. They love every moment of it, even getting hit. It seems like they enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? So for them, they don't really care about how people view them or what they have to say to make people like or hate them. They're just in it to fight. So when you got somebody like that who's just in it to fight, they don't care who they fight. They just want to be in there and they want to get in there and perform. You know what I'm saying? They just can't wait till the opportunity. And I feel like that's the difference with those guys. But then you get other ones like there's Rolly, who may want to be in front of the camera and all of that, and he might really believe in himself, but it's hard to judge. We're gonna have to see him in some kind of trouble, and he would have been in some trouble with Tank, and then it would have kind of showed really what he's in there for. Was he in there just to get a couple dollars and just to act like he was going to do all this and all that, or was he in there, to really show out? You know what I'm saying?
I personally think he was coming to win.
He probably was. I'm not taking anything away from him.
There's something about Rose. I feel like he's not technically sound, but he is extremely, extremely strong. He's a kid that you can tell his strength and awkwardness is going to make it difficult. And you've been in the ring with guys like that before.
Yeah.
I've seen you spar guys like that before. Remember, we had a cat like that in our gym, Mike, who wasn't the most fundamentally sound, but he can get in the ring with anybody and be competitive because of his strength, physical strength. So a guy like Rolly's, I feel like he was really coming to win. Now, do I
he believed in himself.
Win? I think it was going to be very difficult for him to, very difficult for him to win because, Tank is a dog, but I do think he was coming to win.
Say it again?
I said, I do believe he was coming to win.
No, he was definitely. I do think he's coming to win, but we have to see when he gets in there and he starts to feel what he's going to feel with Tank and with a guy, and it starts to hit some adversity. Is he really, really in it to win it? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, of course, everybody's a front runner. Everybody when they get in there, like, I'm a smash this dude when I get in there. And then y'all talking crap back and forth, like who's better, and I'm this and I'm that, and he wearing minks and glasses to the damn press conference, and I'm the man already. I ain't done shit, but I'm the man already. I ain't got no belts, and I'm the man. That's cool, but it's all cool until you get in there and you get punched in your mouth real hard, the hardest you ever been punched, and you get wobbled. It's like, yo, oh shit, what do I do now? I ain't never had to face nothing like this. And you know what happens when Tank hits you and hurts you.
So now
he's going to put he's going to put you out. He's going to put your lights out. He's trying to kill you because that's just the way he is. You know what I mean? He comes from a hard place. Trust me, I've been there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you get a lot of these guys, these YouTube stars and all that. I'm not saying he's a YouTube star. He's a legit fighter. But when you getting in there with a real champion, a dude that's really done traveled and done been places, that knocked dudes out in other places, and then, like I said, comes from nothing and wants to put it all on the line because he knows that I've been where I've come from is worse than anything I'll see in here. And that's how he feels. Are you willing to go as far as he is? And I really don't know if that kid is. I don't know. I haven't seen it. We're not going to see it now for some time maybe. And so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with him. I will hope the best for him. I hope he's able to get back and can actually compete again, regardless of whether I like his style and his attitude or not. He's a fighter and he should have a chance.
So now we got a replacement by Isaac the Pitbull Cruz. Do you know anything about him?
I know he's tough and he come forward and this is going to be exciting. If we thought the other one was going to be exciting, this is going to be exciting.
A lot of people have been saying that. I haven't seen him fight. I did go ahead though. You seen him fight before?
Bro, I seen him fight. He wants to fight. That's exactly what he
record is 22-1, 15 knockouts. Hold on real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna try this real quick. Can you see my screen?
I don't see what you're putting up.
So we got the share screen. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can.
You can see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, cool. Let's take a quick peek at this guy.
Okay.
Al cuerpo. Exactamente, ahí siente que lastimó a su adversario, va sobre él, mete izquierdas, derechas, derecha, arriba, y se enfrascan ahí en el campo de golpes. Mejor la izquierda, la última de Evangelista fue muy por debajo del cinturón. Uy, el golpe también de Cruz en la última parte de este episodio, la derecha, y de nuevo la cuenta a la derecha, y la de golpe. Tres extraordinarias derechas, se está levantando Evangelista.
Es el cuadrilátero. Se están tirando con todo. Isaac Cruz va mandando volados tremendos, al igual que Iván, que está metiendo una combinación arriba y abajo interesante, pero frente una derecha tremenda y lo manda a la lona. Está lastimado el boxeador, ella lleva. Y si no te regulas en tu desgaste físico, lo puedes pagar y caro. ¿Te vacías? 18 segundos para que termine este tercer round. Y ahí los tenemos todavía. Está Isaac tirando todo tipo de golpes, pero no puede aprender a Iván. Ahora lo baja con una derecha. Le tira todavía.
All right, so
you can see what you're going to be getting in. You're going to be what you're going to be getting with.
I don't really need to watch. Hold on. I don't really need to watch too much of that to already kind of know what I'm gonna get. Now, my only thing is, the only question I got now is standing toe to toe with Tank like that. That's what's gonna be interesting to me. What's your thoughts about that? And do you think, because we've seen in recent times Tank kind of like trying to fight behind the high guard and walk a guy down and wear him out. In this fight, Tank's not going to be able to play that for too long because this guy's going to keep coming and coming and coming and coming. At some point, he's going to have to let his hands go. Do you think that there's an opportunity, a realistic opportunity? Obviously, there's an opportunity, but do you think there's a realistic opportunity for this guy to outwork Tank?
I mean, possibly. To me, it all depends on what he can take when it comes from Tank, because his style is come forward, I'm gonna hit you harder than you can hit me type thing. Obviously, Tank is a better fighter. He has more skills. He has more dimensions. We don't know if he has more power. We don't know because we haven't really seen this guy in with the same level of competition. We have seen that he's lost, so we know he can lose. Whatever the loss was about doesn't matter. He lost. So. But can he take what Tank has to offer? You know what I'm saying? And I think Tank has the ability to fight him toe-to-toe, but he also has the ability to box him. We know Tank can take a shot. We know Tank is tough enough to take a shot. We know he's willing to take a shot. I think this fight has the capabilities of being a really, really, really exciting, interesting kind of fight. It all depends on what Tank decides to do with it. We know what Cruz is going to do. Cruz is like, I'm coming in. Nico Ones is más grande tanto, so I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come in and fight you. You know what I'm saying? But Tank, Like he's that too. You know what I mean? He's like, I'll fight you. My ball's big too. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? So pause. Damn it, pause. But you understand what I'm saying? Like they're both willing. So with that kind of fight, don't laugh, man. That's too much. But but it's just an exciting situation. Like I would honestly, I was really interested in this fight so much because of I wanted to see him to shut the young boy up. I was really interested in seeing him like shut Broly's mouth a little bit and maybe give him a little more humility going to to the next fight after he took an L in this one. But because that's not happening, you know what I mean? I felt like that would probably be an exciting fight too. Now this one is actually like this one is pretty good. This one definitely can be as exciting or more exciting than that because this dude is not trying to take a backward step. And Tank ain't trying to take a backward step, but he can. So it's interesting. It's just more interesting. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to it. Not more so than the other one, but just as much.
Well, we'll see how that fight goes, man. You know what I mean? I'm hoping.
Sorry, I mean, who was talking with the shower curtain? This is the living room, bro. Like it's not with the shower curtain. Shit.
Yeah, everybody swears those the shower curtains.
It's not, man. It's not.
We gotta get you set up. We gotta get you a setup, man. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get you.
Hey.
The little. See, I got the little pink light going on back here right now. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get you.
I'm gonna put it in the bathroom though, for real, because y'all motherfuckers been saying that shit so much.
Put some of your belts that you won over the years behind you. You know what I mean? We gotta get that set up right, man.
Yeah. I mean, you know what it is, man? It's like I'm so busy, man. I'm training people constantly. I'm going here, I'm going there. I'm literally 7 days a week on a run, bro. I don't even have a chance to do anything for myself sometimes. I'm always trying to play ball, work out, train people. I'm a busy person, man. And I like this coming weekend, we got the videos, but I got some other obligation I got too, man. It's just like sometimes it's really hard for me to lock in a time to even set up an important thing like this.
You need one of these, man. You need one of these, man. You see this book, man, you gotta start writing stuff down, We gotta start writing down the goals and the schedules, man. I'll help you with that, man. I've been working on that myself.
No doubt. I need it.
We're gonna talk about let's talk about Caleb Plant a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about Caleb Plant? Have you seen him fight before?
Yeah, I've seen him fight. He can fight. He's good. He's talented. He's really good.
All right. So he has a very good jab.
Mm-hmm.
He's got good lateral movement.
Mm-hmm.
He's tall. He's a naturally 168 pounder.
Mm-hmm.
He's had some turmoil in his life. He lost his daughter. He lost his mother.
Yeah.
He could box.
Yeah.
He has the style. He has the style that will. If there's a style out there that frustrates Canelo, Caleb Plant has the style. He has the style. The things that Canelo doesn't like. We've seen Canelo not really enjoy his fights with guys like Lara and guys like who else, man? Obviously
Floyd
Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? Danny Jacobs has some moments and Austin Trout, guys who use a jab, lateral movement, and stuff like that. He's had trouble with Lara. He has trouble with Trout, which was early in his career. But those guys were 154 pounders, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now he's fighting at 168 pounds, which is actually coming down considering he just beat Kovalev and the other couple of guys he fought at 175. But my point being is, does Caleb really have a chance? He has a lot of good things, but he doesn't have the experience. He hasn't fought at this level. His record, has not had any real stiff competition like Canelo. Canelo's fought the best of the best. What's your thoughts?
I think he has, show the shower. I keep looking at that. But I think he has the ability, and he has realistically he has a shot to win. Anybody has a shot that gets in there, but it's just like, can he really hurt Canelo? We've seen Canelo in there with Kovalev, who can obviously crack even at 175, and he was in there with him the entire time, ended up stopping him. Can Caleb Plant is he crafty enough to keep from that TNT landing on him that Canelo has? Because like he's proven that he can hurt a 75. He's proven he can hurt the 68, 60, 54, whoever you got. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he had some of these heavyweights and these cruiserweights on the chin. He might hurt him. So I just really don't know if, I really don't know if, I don't know. Honestly, I really don't know. I think Canelo, I think it's going to be a really tough one for him because Canelo is truly legit, truly. Bro. My bad. I'm like I'm losing my shit right now. I'm trying to keep it under control, man. My bad. Sorry.
Right. Go ahead.
Anyway, he has like I said, he has a realistic shot, just like anybody else who would get in there. I don't know about the puncher's chance. You know what I mean? Because we know Canelo could take a shot, but he is crafty. And I feel like he has the ability to win a decision, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it. I don't know if he has enough skill to be able to outfox Canelo. Canelo's probably, he's top. He may be the top fighter in the world right now. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard, and he has the skills, the head movement, the ability to power. He's a juggernaut, and he's a juggernaut at any of those weights, any of those middle weights. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to think that a guy as good as Caleb Plant may be, who doesn't have the resume, doesn't have the guys behind him say, I beat this guy, I beat that guy, you know what I mean? He doesn't really have that right there for Canelo. So to really believe that, for us to really believe that he is going to have a realistic, like a serious shot at beating Canelo, because I just don't know if he can beat him by decision. I don't know if he has enough, to be honest.
My man Eugenio Malo said Canelo is like a mix of Chavez Sr. and James Toney. Good luck to Plant.
That is not a bad comparison.
That is a pretty good assessment of him.
That
man.
is.
Good one, Eugene.
And you know who my favorite is? I love James Toney.
Right.
You know what I mean? James Toney, pause. James Toney was that dude. That's one of my favorites all the time. That one, like, and Canelo does have a lot of elements of James in his game. Seriously, like he has a lot. Like he he's right in front of you, and sometimes you can't hit him. You know what I mean? But he does have like that. And James could punch, obviously, but he has that Chavez Senior, kind of like I'm on you all night, putting my hands on you, heavy shots to the body. He has a lot, man. He really does. That's a good assessment right there. I like that.
Right. Well, what do you think? I mean, so what do you think? What does Caleb do? What do you do when you're Caleb Plant? When you're trying to hype yourself up for a fight of this magnitude. I mean, what do you do?
Honestly, Caleb Plant does, him being tall. I think he said he's like 6 foot. They said something like 6 foot, 6'1" or something like that. Even 5'11", whatever. He's taller than Canelo by enough. He could, man, I know it's gonna be bad, but to stink this one out, man. You know what I mean? Pat, kind of like even if you watch Billy Joe Saunders at times in that fight, he had Canelo like, yo, damn, I can't really get a beat on this guy. And Billy Joe's a little tall, about 5'11", fighting from the outside. So it was like, if you can keep him from getting in his groove, Canelo, you know what I mean? If you could you could just touch him, even with a jab, use a lot of feints, up and down movement, level change movement, like foot feints, just to keep him unsettled. I feel like
to answer a question, how would you fight Canelo's strategy to being him is exactly what you're saying. And I believe that Caleb has all those tools and he has that style. Like, so for you asking me what makes this fight intriguing, Spreza, what makes this fight intriguing is that Caleb Plant has the style to beat Canelo. If he can execute his style is the question. Because he has the style, a good jab, good feints, good lateral movement. If I was fighting Canelo or if I was coaching somebody to fight Canelo, I would have somebody keep a jab on Canelo. You have to be sturdy. You have to be sturdy. You have to have some good pop as well. You have to be able to snap his, you have to be able to earn Canelo's respect. Yeah. And if you need to, and if you don't have anything exceptional like Floyd had exceptional speed. Floyd had exceptional defense. Triple G had exceptional power. So, when you need to have something exceptional to control Canelo, and that's the only thing that I don't know if Caleb has. I don't know if he has anything exceptional. He has the style, but anything exceptional. Like, I don't see anything in Caleb that's like, yo, I've never seen nothing like that before. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And that's the reason why I think most people are counting him out.
I get that. It's like when you look at me as a heavyweight, even though I think like I had exceptional speed, but it's like, did I have like what Mike Tyson had, where he had exceptional speed and killer power? So as a small guy, you still had to really fear him putting his hands on you. So if he was to fight like a guy like Lennox Lewis, who might be way too big, or a Klitschko or a Wilder or something like that, you still might think, yo, Mike got a chance, right? Whereas now we're looking at Caleb Plant, and he's going in there fighting Canelo, who has everything he needs at the weight he's at, whatever, But it's like, yeah, he got the skill, and, he might have enough speed and reflexes and all of that. But is he going to be able to keep Canelo off him? Like, if Canelo really wants to, could he walk him down and just like rip his body apart? You know what I mean? And we know he's not outweighing him, or he's that much bigger or so much taller that it makes it really difficult for him to compete against him. No. You know what I mean? They're virtually going to be the same size. And I think that plays to Canelo's in Canelo's hands. And I feel like Canelo has just an edge. He has an edge in every way. And of course, with power, and I feel like reflexes, he has a bigger edge. And I think that's what Caleb Plant's, or what's Caleb's Plant's best attributes are, boxing ability and reflexes and range. Now, range is another thing. Well, obviously, Canelo doesn't have the range advantage in this. And I think that's where he can kind of exploit it. If he can kind of make this a stinking fight, and nobody wants to see it, but if he wants to win, he's going to have to do that. He's going to have to be, double, triple jab from the outside, throw a decent straight right hand every now and again, stick the jab to the body. You know what I mean? When Canelo starts to do his little crafty shit, man, come up in there a little bit too close, stop it, stop the action, get it back out at range. When Canelo really starts to press, when he starts to get a little bit more like desperate, you get real close. Nope, this ain't gonna happen. You don't get a turn, Canelo. Put him off. Stick that jab in his face again. You know what I mean? Keep this fight at a distance. You understand what I'm saying? And not at a distance of a mid-range distance. We talk about long-range distance. You understand what I'm saying? Keep him from getting comfortable. If you could keep him from getting comfortable and knowing that eventually I'm going to get you, you got a chance. Now, we don't know what the decision is going to look like, but at the end of the day, we do know that if you put your effort in, you're going to get people talking like, yo, Caleb Plant's that dude.
Caleb Plant has a lot of uphill battles in this fight. He has to fight not only Canelo, he has to fight the crowd. He has to fight the judges.
Yeah.
He has to fight the fact that he doesn't have experience at this level.
Yeah.
But
it's a lot.
But we're talking about a man who lost his daughter. We're talking about a man who lost his mother. We're talking about a man who's white in a predominantly black sport. So I think that he's built some sort of resilience over the years where he is not going to allow this moment to take over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just think that, he has a chance. I think he really has a chance. You know what I'm saying? I think that Canelo, though, is just, you get fighters every so often. I think you get fighters like, every so often, like I said, they could fight in any era. And Canelo's one of those guys. He's a guy that could have fought in the 80s. He's a guy who could have fought in the 80s. He damn sure could have fought in the 70s and the 50s. So he's just an any era type guy, like a Shakur Stevenson, any era type guy, Floyd Mayweather, any era type guy. You know, so that's the thing. We're about to find out what Caleb Plant, you know, is built for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I'm hoping for him that he has more than, you know, and even if he doesn't, I'm just hoping he can give the kind of effort, you know what I mean, to get him respect and to get him more good fights, get him in some big fights, even if he loses, you know what I mean, get some more big fights. Guys like him deserve it. He seems like a good dude. He seems like, you know, he's worked hard. He's got a lot of loss in his life, and that's another thing. It's just like I was saying about Tank. The things he's experienced, man, the loss he's experienced, man. I mean, if he was to lose the fight with Canelo, it's just like, hey, man, I still get paid a great deal of money. I'm still alive. You know what I mean? I'm happy. You know what I mean? So it's not the end of the world for him. But at the same time, you know, if he was able to pull it off, it'd be a good thing for him, big time, obviously.
Right. Let me go ahead and let Instagram know what's going on. Instagram, we got this live going right now. We got the people in here. We got Fast Eddie in here. We're about to do a little Q&A because I know you got to get out of here, Eddie. I know you ain't got a lot of time.
Got a couple minutes. I got a couple more minutes.
So let me go ahead and try to get the people involved. Guys, if you guys want to ask Eddie any questions before he gets out of here, let's start this Q&A. Let's go ahead and let's start off with this right here. Any advice with head movement while sparring? I feel good when drilling and shadow boxing, but once that headgear goes on, I just don't feel as smooth with the head movement. Go ahead, Eddie. It's
harder to see. You know what I mean? The punches, because there's so many more blind spots with the headgear than without it. But, you know, with the headgear, you feel a little more comfortable because there's obviously more protection. The gloves are bigger. But that also makes it more difficult because the gloves are bigger. The headgear is there, so it's a little easier to land grazing shots or shots that may affect you slightly in your head movement slightly. So, you know, you might have to make bigger movements. You know what I mean? Or just instead of trying to focus so much on head movement in those situations, in those scenarios, is use your hands a little bit. I know a lot of people kind of want to stray away from using the hands and blocking punches because it kind of traps your hands and keeps you from you being able to utilize them in offense, but that's not necessarily true either. There are ways that you can open up shots and, you know, you catch it on one side, you throw if you catch, like I say, a left hook on your right side, you could drop a right hand, because if that guy's throwing his left hook and you catch it on the right side, his hand's occupied with the hook. And if you catch it right and time it right, you can drop your right hand down. So, I mean, there's different options to use. You know what I mean? But I know if you're discussing head movement, you might have to make the moves a little bit bigger, not too much. And you don't want to get it's so messed up because you don't want to get in the habit of having to do those types of things if you're not going to be wearing headgear in the fight, obviously. But if we know if you're an amateur, you are. So at this point, make the moves a little bit bigger. Make sure you got your feet under you. You know what I mean? Make sure your balance is solid, because a lot of people think head movement is, you know, their waist, you know, leaning outside of their base. And that's just not the truth. You got to make sure that you got your feet under you as you're moving. But just make them slightly bigger, not too much. And, you know, just take it one shot at a time. Don't try to slip everything. You know what I mean? It's difficult. It's very difficult to do all those multidimensional different movements and, you know, from the drops to the rolls and stuff like that right away. You know, take your time, maybe make them miss one and catch the rest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's really good advice, man. I think that's a big mistake that a lot of young fighters try to do. You guys try to slip everything, and slipping everything isn't the smartest thing to do. You know what I mean? You do want to get a guy's rhythm, and like Eddie said, you know, you block a couple shots and use your feet to get away from certain shots. And once you get that timing down and you feel comfortable with what they're throwing at you, then you start to incorporate a slip here, slip here. You know what I mean? You don't just go out there trying to slip. You don't just go out there. You know, you take your time. Your hands is up. You know, you catch whatever. You know, you move, you circle. You do whatever you got to do to avoid the shots. And then once you feel like, oh, I see how he's throwing these shots, boom, you hit him with a slip. And then once you start slipping, Then you can start adding the counter, right? Boom, you got the slip down. Now you can add the counter, but it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen right off the rip unless you're like, you know, a superb freaking boxer at a high level and he's boxing someone who's at a very low level. You know what I mean? Typically, it doesn't happen that way. Even when you got two of the best boxers fighting each other, it takes them around the two before they start adding all those technical moves and slips and the beauty. And so it takes time, man. You know, just work on it. You know what I mean? Let me see what else. What else, Eddie? What up, Nate? Big shout out to my boy Nate Vasquez. He trains he professional fighter, trains with Jeff Mayweather, everybody at the Mayweather gym. It's my homie right there. A question for Eddie. Why do 99% of boxing trainers, when doing pad work with boxers, throw hooks with the palm down as opposed to the palm sideways? 99% of boxers do not throw the hooks with the palms down.
I think that's like maybe habit. I don't know. It's, you know, you're trying to, I guess it depending on what level you're working with. I know, and I think you do it with it facing the way a guy would throw a punch. You actually sometimes look like you're trying to land it to make us, you know, to go under it legitimately like we're supposed to. So that is something that I personally need to work on too. Because a lot of time when you're working with, say, if I'm not working with an elite guy or whatever, I'm trying to get them comfortable with making these, you know, the right movements defensively. And, you know, you want it to look good. You want them to feel good about it. If they're not fighters, you just want them to, you know, kind of, you know, get into it a little. So, but for fighters, absolutely, I agree. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, I feel like it's just something you get used to doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just something you're used to. You feel like you're throwing a shot at the fighter. That's enough, you know, but I do agree that you kind of want to more simulate what's going to happen in a fight. You know what I mean? If you're going to have somebody, if you're going to be throwing anything and have the kid doing whatever he needs to do defensively and be defensively responsible, I think you should too. I think you should throw it as a fighter would throw it. Even, for example, like Ant, you know how you throw the right hand as a hook, in a sense, to have a guy roll to his left, I mean, or to his right or left after like, say you threw a hook and you threw a right hand at him, but it's not a straight right hand, you're throwing a right hook because you want him to roll under it, right? The realistic thing would be is to throw a straight right hand and have him roll under that, which is the same thing, essentially. You don't have to make it a hook. You know what I mean? You can just throw the shot as a right hand and you'll still have to roll it. So you're right. I agree with that. You know what I mean? I don't know if I don't know how many people are going to correct that after this live, but I feel like that is something we need to talk about and we need to work on.
Yeah, I feel like I do both. You know, I feel like I do both. I never put too much thought into that, but I do throw hooks with the mitts like this, and then. But even in real life, though, you know, I like the shadow box with my palm facing the ground. Like when I'm working on my hook, I'll put my hook like this, shadow boxing. Like I'll be like, even though whenever I've ever hit the bag or spar, my thumb comes up. But naturally, it feels more better for my shoulder when I go like this with a hook, shadow boxing. For whatever reason, I don't know what it is. It could be preference. You got guys overseas in the UK, guys, they like to throw their hooks like this.
I used to throw mine like that. That's how my dad taught me to throw it. So,
but to add to this, Eugene, and to add to what you were saying, Eddie, there's certain techniques that I do, and I actually talk about this in my course, Build You From the Ground Up, that I just dropped, and that I call them training tools. So, for instance, to go off of what you were saying, Eddie, that if you throw a straight right hand, somebody can roll under it, similar to a hook. But I think in the beginning stages of a boxer's journey, you're trying to just get them to get the body mechanics down. So as you're teaching them the body mechanics, you use a training tool. So for instance, like a slip row, right? We do it all the time. Slip row. Now we know fundamentally there's a big flaw by going slip, cross,
and then going across that line,
slip, roll. So then you may say, why do so many trainers teach a slip, roll when you know it should be slip, roll, right? That would be the more realistic thing.
Mm-hmm.
And as a fighter improves, I get away from the slip, roll. But when I got something, but in the beginning stages, to teach them the transferring of the weight, I always teach them a slip, roll because they're not sparring nobody anyway. So I just get them to get comfortable. And then I start to explain to them, okay, now that you understand how to move your body, let's go ahead and start slip, roll. You know what I'm saying? Somebody may argue, why teach them the wrong? You might as well teach them right the first time. I guess tradition or whatever, but I found value in using those training tools to help a guy with body mechanics. It's not everything in boxing that we do, training isn't necessarily for a fight at that particular moment. It is to teach you body mechanics and teach you how to transfer the weight. And then once you get past that, then we start talking about tactical things. And once you understand how to move your body and your waist, and you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Really, I think the way, when you do the slip, slip, roll, or the roll and the roll, you know what I mean? All of that stuff, you're still getting them to do the right thing. It's just about the transfer of weight. It's about the footwork as much as it's about where you're moving your head. You understand what I'm saying? As long as you can do both, you know what I mean? That's the most important part.
My boy, Real Deal. What up, Coach and Eddie? What's your thought on Tank and Cruz? We talked about this already, but give him a quick rundown, Eddie. What you think about that fight?
I think it has potential to be one of the most exciting fights of this year. You know what I mean? For as long as it lasts, depending on what Cruz can take, and depending on what, to be honest, Tank can take from Cruz, because you never know, man. These fights can end surprisingly in a direction, in a way that you wouldn't expect it. So, as good as Tank is, and I feel like he's one of the best fighters in the world. You know what I mean? It's still not going to be an easy fight. This dude is coming to fight. He wants that shit. He wants that shit badly. You know what I mean? At least he fights that way. So. Of course, I think Tank can beat him because he's multidimensional. He can do so many different things. He has the pop, he has the chin, and he has the resume. So I'm gonna have to go with Tank, but it's gonna be exciting. It ain't gonna be an easy thing for him.
FYI, who is the best fighter in your opinion right now, and why? If you had a chance to fight anybody, past or present, who would it be? All right, so that's 2 questions for you, Eddie.
The best fighter right now. If you talk about one. You know what I mean? We got to talk about who has the best resume as of now, and you got to say Canelo. Canelo's that guy right now. You know what I mean? I mean, there's other greats. You look at Lomachenko's obviously got to be mentioned. He's been so good and dominant for so long, even though he had a loss with Teofimo. But then you got to look at the heavyweights. You got to look at Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury's, he's a guy right now. It's a trending topic because he's a really talented dude.
Right there. How come it is that when we talk about the best, we usually forget about the heavyweights?
You know why? Because honestly, even though the heavyweights are the biggest and legitimately have to be the best because they're the biggest, and who else is going to beat a guy that big? You know what I mean? But I think it's just because of the skills. Most times when you see, with the exception of like with Klitschko and all that, but most of the time their skill level isn't really, I guess, to what you would think like a Roy Jones versus like a Lennox. Even though Lennox, I feel like it does have a great level of skill, but there's no comparison with that. But then it's also because Lennox is like 6'5", 250 pounds, and Roy Jones is about 5'11" and 175. So it's a little bit different. You know what I mean? And obviously I was talking about that here, but in general, that's why most of the time you don't say it. But then you look at Tyson Fury, who has so many different dimensions. Then you look at Alexander Usyk, who has a lot of different dimensions and does so many different things like a small guy would. These people have to be put in the conversation. You know what I mean? It's respect. You know what I mean? Just like, if you put a 175-pounder, or 168, or a 130, you got to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, the ones that I mentioned are some of the top. I feel like, or in my opinion, are the ones that should be at least thought of when you're thinking who's the best in the world pound for pound right now. Those names I mentioned. And don't get me wrong, like I said, Lomachenko has lost to Teofimo, but I'm just saying the resume as a whole, skill level as a whole, and what they've done in their career. Canelo, Tyson. There's even more. You know what I mean? You look at Terrence Crawford, I think he has to do a little bit more with his resume, which he's trying to do with with Sean Porter, but and Sean Porter's a tough one too. But yeah, it's hard to put him in that list. But there's a lot of good ones out there right now. But those three names that I mentioned off the top of my head right now, probably leaving some people out. But you got to look at them as the guys.
All right, so let's go ahead and answer the second question because you went in for a second.
My bad.
Yo, Eddie, you built for this talking stuff. All right.
Sorry.
Who would you fight, past, present? You know what I mean?
Past?
Yeah, like if you had a chance to fight anybody past the present, who would it be?
If I had a chance to fight anybody past the present, I'm fighting the one idol that transcended boxing to another level, and even people who've never seen him put the gloves on in a real fight, you know what I mean? And Ali, man, Ali is he's the guy, in boxing. He was willing to do so many different things. Like he was willing to not fight again, to stand up for what he believed in. He was that iconic. He was that kind of dude. And people in all sports, other sports, you know what I mean? You talk about Michael Jordan, even Wilt. I guess Wilt at the time, was one of the biggest stars, or that's basketball. Jim Brown, football, whoever was the biggest idols in sports were all, in my opinion, second to Muhammad Ali. Ali was that dude. He was, self-proclaimed the greatest of all time, but he definitely was the biggest icon, I feel like, in sports, probably of all time. So you have to, if you want to put yourself in a conversation, if you want to be anybody in this sport, you have to say Ali. Even if you'd have got your ass whooped, like I probably would have, who knows? But, you know what I mean? It would have still been just an awesome.
Who wins, Eddie Chambers or Muhammad Ali?
Don't even ask people that, because that's gonna hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? Look, I tell you this. It wouldn't have been that easy. You know what I mean? But because I do have skills. But Ali, you know what I mean? He's
it's a good fight. He doesn't tower you by 6 inches, pause, like these other guys do. You know what I'm saying? He was a boxer. So you didn't have to worry about any scary punching power.
With Ali, it was like, it wasn't about him punching you with one punch and getting you out of it. It was because he was so fast, so free. He was so free moving and free flowing with his offense and it was so fluid. He was so far ahead of his time at that time. You know what I mean? It was like he was in 1990 in the 60s. You understand? Nobody was expecting to see a 210-pound heavyweight that was 6'3" boxing from the outside like a welterweight. It's just not. That's unheard of at that point. If you saw all the other heavyweights, you look at Sonny Liston, you look at all of those guys who were dominant back then. They were all like, I don't want to say mummies, but they weren't that flexible with their ability. You understand what I'm saying? But Ali was. So could you imagine having a guy like that in this kind of era and in this fast moving time? And he would have been more than special. You know what I mean? More than special.
My man Mark said, I love these lives. We got to get son to hold that phone for him. Eddie, I'm gonna come over to your crib. I'm gonna help you with a setup. We're gonna get you right. You know what I mean? We're gonna get Eddie right, because Eddie don't know this is a calling for Eddie, man. I want to see Eddie on TV talking. You know what I mean? You should be a commentator. Sure. Maybe we can get these podcasts. For the next 30 days, I'm going live every single day. I was thinking 8 p.m. Maybe I might push it to 9 p.m. I haven't made a final decision on the time. Maybe 9. You think 9 is better, Eddie?
It all depends. It all depends. I feel like either 8 or 9 is fine.
Yeah, either way, you know what I mean? So we're going to get a lot of practice in. I don't know how much I can get you, Eddie, but we're going to get you in here.
I mean, 15, 20 minutes sometimes an hour, sometimes 2, who knows? Like, but I feel like if I can get on here, maybe not every time, but most times, I'm with it. I like it. I like this type of stuff. I told you I was supposed to be on for like 45 minutes, and obviously I'm late to do what I got to do over here, but it's because I'm really interested in this stuff. So,
this is a question that I think I can answer. Question: Josue Vargas got dropped hard by slipping the 1 and trying to counter with the 2, not expecting that the 1-2 was coming at him. Same with Ward against Kovalev. How do we teach to slip and hit better? Eddie, we actually covered this and how to set traps and counter punch. We talk about this. We talk about this all. I've been talking about this for years. I've seen other coaches recently start posting about this.
Yeah.
But if you go back in our track record, Eddie, we've been covered this years ago.
Yeah.
And when you slip a 1, right, and the 2 comes, it's just like doing the slip roll that I just if you
just talked about it.
So that's a timing thing, right? If you decide that you're gonna slip the jab and counter with a cross, you have to kind of know your opponent's patterns. You can't just do it the first jab that comes out in the fight, or the second or the third, because you don't know your opponent's patterns yet. It was round 1. Josue should have been taking his time. He should have been reading his opponent. He should have took his time, relaxed, try to weather what was coming at him, establish his own jab. You know, he shouldn't have been out there so fidgety, inexperienced at that level. Kind of jumped the gun, you know what I mean? Good young fighter. I've worked with Josue. I've seen him in the gym. He's sparred many people. He was a good amateur. He's fought a lot of good names in the amateurs. So I can see why he felt like, you know, I can handle this level. It's very easy, but at the end of the day, it's still a new level. And he got clipped. I mean, what can you say? You know, a lot of people didn't like how he acted before the fight, so he's getting a lot of backlash, especially from the Mexican community. And, you know, I can understand why. You know, he was being a little bit, you know, disrespectful. And unfortunately, you know what I mean, he got clipped and he didn't get a chance to showcase his skills. Now, when you're slipping a jab, like I said many times, you got to pick up a pattern. Now, we've always also talked about, Eddie, if you slip a jab and throw your own jab, you can stop the 2 that they're trying to throw.
Yes, sir.
So if somebody's throwing the jab and you slip and throw your jab, they go to throw the 1, 2, they can potentially get caught with the jab. So a slip jab is actually a little safer than a slip right hand.
Yeah, it is.
You know
And it is. It's 100% safer. Anyway, when you think about throwing a jab versus a right hand, where's your body positioned? When you throw a right hand, you got to be invested in throwing that right hand because you know where you're going. You're literally leaning to that front foot. So you're putting your head on a platter for the guy to hit if you're doing it at the wrong time. That's why he got caught. If you're, especially like you said, you said it, man. First round. Now, unless you know this guy to a T, you're not supposed to be doing nothing like that right away. Like, perfect example, Anthony Joshua versus Prince Charles Martin, right? Charles Martin and Anthony Joshua. In the first round, Anthony Joshua caught Charles Martin with these 2 counter right hands back to back, literally, and ended up stopping him with the second one. He knew his opponent. He knew he was going to be able to do that. You know what I mean? Shout out to Anthony Joshua for that. But he knew it. You see this? And that's obviously more experience. He had Olympic level experience. Not saying that Josue didn't have that. He did. He had experience, maybe not Olympic level, but he had experience. But he didn't quite understand that level, the importance of it at this level. Maybe he was a little nervous. Maybe he moved a little too fast. Maybe he was looking for something that wasn't there a little too soon. Maybe he watched some video and figured, oh, this is the time to do it. Took a chance and got caught. It happens. But you have to take your time. If it's a 12-round fight like that was, or a 10-round fight like that may have been, take your time, let these things develop. If you see a pattern, you know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be out there just freewheeling. You're supposed to be out there and knowing what's going on. You're supposed to pay attention.
That's the biggest thing to take away, guys. The biggest thing to take away from what we're talking about in this particular answer is you got to know the patterns. You learn a lot of techniques. All right, for instance, people ask me all the time about the Philly shell. People ask me all the time about keeping your hands up high. People ask me all the time about throwing certain punches. Listen, if I just came out first round and I'm shoulder rolling and there ain't no punches coming at me, like, what effectiveness is the shoulder roll? If my hands are up here and guys are throwing to my body, what effectiveness is this? You use the tools that you need to use for what's happening at the moment. You know what I'm trying to say? So you learn a lot of different tools in boxing. That's what boxing is. We teach you a shoulder roll. We teach you to cover up. We teach you to utilize a jab. We teach you to slip and rip to the body. We teach you to fight in the pocket. We teach you to throw certain punches. That doesn't mean you just do it. That doesn't mean you just start doing shit. You take your time, you pick up patterns, you figure it out. Then you say, okay, I know what I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna keep my hands up high, I'm gonna gas him, then I'm gonna whoop, bang. You see what I'm saying? You could do anything, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep my hands up high, he's gonna go to my body, I'm gonna drop down and counter him. You don't, you set traps, you feel me? Like different things. My lead hand's low, he thinks he's gonna hit me with a right hand, boom, I hit him with a check hook. You see what I'm saying? Like,
it's reaction.
Different things you can do, you know what I mean? But you need to do it. And the other flip side to all of this is shit happens. That could have happened to him even if he did pick up the patterns. That could have happened to him at any point of the fight. It could have happened to him at any point. When you got knocked out by Klitschko, I tell people this shit all the time. When you got knocked out by Klitschko, and I hate to bring this up,
no, I don't.
You had your right glove up.
Yeah, exactly.
So Eddie,
ain't that crazy?
Listen to this, guys. For everybody in here who knows so much about boxing, when Klitschko threw that combination, Eddie's glove was up. The freaking shot landed right here. What kind of luck is that? Now,
that's what happens.
I could understand if you were down and your hands were down and you were showboating and you was fighting very careful. You were trying your best to make it through the whole fight. And the hook came. Yes, you were a little fatigued. You went to block the hook. The shit lands
on the inside
like this. It lands right there. It's like a phantom punch, man. Like, what kind of luck is that? So
it happens.
It happens, man. It's part of the game. You know,
that's the only time I've ever been down. The only time I've ever been out. One time, and all it took was one mistake, a shot that you just didn't see coming. You were prepared for it. Keep in mind, I was prepared for it. It still happened. So just like Ann said, it's just one of those things, man. Boxing, this is boxing. This is how it plays out sometimes.
Yeah, just boxing, man. You know what I mean? But when you upset the fans and you talk crazy and act a certain way, the fans are tough, man. Sometimes dealing with the fans after a loss is worse than the loss itself, man.
Oh my God. Think about this, Ant. I'm so glad social media wasn't what it is today. When I got stopped by him, boy, I'd have been on every meme that there would have been. Trust me. I'm so glad. I hope people don't watch that video too much and start wanting to put me on memes now. But but I'm just saying. You remember when Pacquiao got knocked out by
oh my God. Remember they were putting him on the mattress. Yo, they were putting him on mattress commercials, laying on his face. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, some of them shits was funny, man. Like I felt bad because I know that this game, the risk, and I know that it could happen to me, but it still was funny as shit, dog.
Yeah, it was, and that's the thing. That's the thing. Like I'm glad it wasn't my time. That shit wasn't that much longer after that fight. For me, that was like 4 or 5 years after. And it's like, could you imagine if I would have that? Man, I missed the social media train just a little bit. Thank God, because that would have been embarrassing, bro.
Who's the best fighter you fought in training camp since that's still active now? So I'm gonna assume he means spar. Who's the best boxer you've sparred?
That's still active now? Well, Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is, yeah. I mean, I've sparred some good guys that were lighter weight guys, some other good fighters, but clearly Tyson. He was also the most difficult. Before him, Vladimir, but Tyson Fury, and I've been trying to tell people this. That whoever would fucking listen is the most difficult person to be in the ring with. I don't care if you talk about even Boots Ennis, who I feel like is, oh my God, I would hate to have to spar with that motherfucker. But Canelo,
you think sparring a kid like Boots Ennis,
man,
now even as a heavyweight would still be frustrating for a heavyweight?
It would be even more frustrating as a heavyweight, especially if you're not real tall, because he can hit you comfortably, pretty much, not at will. I mean, I'm not letting nobody hit me. I don't give a fuck what it is. But as good, as fast as this dude is, throwing punches from southpaw to orthodox to this to that, and he's just fluid as anything I've ever seen. It's like, bro, I do not want to spar with him. Canelo's another one. Canelo was just annoying to look at because you just know that it would take fucking, you would have to just sometimes close your eyes and hope you touch him. You know what I'm saying? Because he's hard as fuck to hit. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how it was to hit me. So I know if it's hard for it to hit me, it's going to be hard to hit him too, even though we're different weight classes. And then I just thought about Tyson. Like, Tyson is like a damn tarantula. You know what I mean? With arms longer than a damn tarantula. You know what I'm saying? Compared to a fucking fly. And it's just like trying to get close enough to land. You literally need months to prepare. You need time with him. Like, I was sparring with him for over a year, and it still was hard at the end. I figured out a way to be able to compete at times, but bro, like even at my best, it was difficult. Even at my very best, and I have as good of skills as anybody ever, in my opinion, skill-wise. It's still hard. It's very hard. And that's why I know, compared to me, even though I'm smaller, this fucking dude was damn near impossible if you haven't seen him before and you haven't dealt with him before, it's on me and damn near impossible to get him out. The only way you get him is if you catch him and knock him out. He's too big, too good. Tell him.
Hey, y'all, which female boxers do you like? That's a good one because I don't watch enough female boxing, professional boxing. I mean, I like Amanda Serrano. I like the Serrano.
I've seen her. She's good. What's what's her name? I keep wanting to say Serrano now. This Sinisa Estrada. She's good too. She can fight.
Sinisa Estrada.
Sinisa can fight.
Obviously, Clarissa was a good fighter.
Clarissa still did, no doubt.
I got a friend of mine by the name of Christina Cruz. Big shout out to Christina Cruz. She just turned professional. My brother trained one of Clarissa's opponents. And you know, she was good. She was talented. It's just she got in front of Clarissa. It was it's a different world when you get in there sometimes with her. But she's good too. Oh yeah. Your boy, Steve Upshur. He was training.
She was good too.
For that fight.
Ivana was good. She was good. I'm telling you, I seen her. She could box, man. She was good. Ivana is good. It's just sometimes, you know, you get in there with the elite of the elite, and it's just, you know, it's hard. You know, that's the name of the game. You know?
Question. Was supposedly the long count for Tyson an issue for you guys? You think it was fair? Tyson versus Wilder. Remember the long count? Was that an issue? We kind of debunked that, right? We kind of looked at it.
If it was long, it was a split second longer, and Wilder got one too. You know what I'm saying?
He had his own little long count also.
So it was like, yo, at the end of the day, they just didn't want to be the ones to call the fight when there was still juice in the tank for both guys, which I respect. It's almost like, listen, y'all gonna have to really be out in order for us to count you out. If you get up, I don't give a damn if it's at 12. We're gonna keep this thing rocking. And that's great. That's how it should be. You shouldn't be like a dude get up a half second too late and the fight's over. You just ruined a hell of a comeback possibility. You know what I'm saying? Look at when Wilder caught Tyson on the rebound. Dropped him twice in the next round. You know what I'm saying? After them long counts. So it's like, hey, sometimes it makes it, you know what I mean? It makes it better. That makes sense.
Also, I didn't say thank you, man. I feel rude. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just answer the question and I forget. So I just want to say thank you for the super chat. It's highly appreciated. And also, man, you know, I ended all these sales because it's November 1st, man. But y'all just put me in a good mood, man. Use discount code GroundUp50, get 50% off How to Build You from the Ground Up. You know what I'm saying? And if you want any of the other courses, you can use discount code CAPower60, and you can pick up one of the other courses. Eddie features on like 90% of my courses, so you're gonna have some really, really nice visuals there. See Eddie's skills. And Eddie, man, the course that we're about to drop, man, How to Box from the Outside, and we're gonna record this weekend How to Box from the Inside. Eddie, can you just tell the people what's your thoughts on what we've been recording?
Look, there's a lot of thought that goes into this. There's a lot of effort that's put into it, a lot of time, a lot of man hours, with me and Ann and myself. And it's for y'all, it's quality. It's high level quality. This is stuff that you're getting information that we've learned and that we've perfected from years and from some of the best trainers in the world. You know what I mean? So, and it's just, you're
Now,
getting.
And you know what's crazy? It's crazy, yo, because, not to cut you off, Eddie, but, I think about stuff sometimes and I say to myself, like, for instance, like there's certain techniques, right, before courses became a thing.
Yeah.
And I used to talk to people would do these Q&As, right? Like, but it wasn't on a platform like this. It was more so like somebody would DM me on Instagram.
Right.
And then I'll be like, yo, come to the gym, I'll show you. And they'll come to the gym and I'll show them how to do stuff, right? And they already know how to box. I've had experienced guys, intermediate guys. I come to the gym, I show them, they be like, damn, okay, I see what you're talking about. Then they start working it, whatever, they take that nugget with them and they run. Yeah. Now, you literally could watch it and have it in your possession. And whenever you want to go back to it, you literally could watch it again just in case you forgot something. It's like the nuggets are given to them. Yeah. But I just think that people, say to themselves, but I'd rather do it. It's like, dude, you're getting the info. You can watch it on your phone. You're doing personal training now. I still coach people personal training for the price, sometimes even cheaper than a session. They're getting 20 years worth of experience in a course. I say to myself, that shit is crazy. Like,
it is crazy.
It's a steal that I'm almost like, I want to pull it down from the website because I'm like, it took me so many years to do this, but at the end of the day, you know what I mean? This is how business is nowadays. Everything is through the internet. You feel me?
And it's got to be there. You know what I mean? That's the way it is.
And it was like that with the YouTube channel when I was growing the channel and basically building, just giving a nugget. And these nuggets, man, take so many years to perfect because I don't want to just put out anything. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that trainer that we used to look at some of these YouTube guys and we laugh like, yo, is this guy?
Don't want to say no names.
This is the guy who they're taking information from. Me and you would just sit there and scratch our heads and be like, that's when I said, I got to make a YouTube channel because what these guys are putting out, it's crazy.
People and people, because they didn't have information on it and didn't really know what they were watching,
they would think
saying, "Oh, that's awesome!"
Like, yo, man, I can learn something.
And I'm looking, I'm like, you took that? And that, all right. That's right. I didn't know that shit was right. I had no idea that that's what happens. You know what I mean? If you don't know any better and you feel like somebody has an expert opinion, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be like, yeah, that's right. Nah, it's not right. You need to really talk to some real pros and they'll tell you that. Trust me. It's like with basketball too, man. You see a lot of these gimmicky people out here putting out stuff, and I love basketball, so I'm out here trying to learn, and you listen to the wrong person. It's the same thing in basketball as in boxing. There's a lot of pretenders out there, trust me. And you'll take the wrong info and you'll be practicing something stupid, and somebody be like, yo, who showed you that? And then you're like, I don't know, man. It was this dude. Don't listen to him. Obviously, you shouldn't be doing that. And then you find out the truth. But this is why you gotta look, and you gotta seek out the real deal. People who got a resume really know what they're talking about, for real. And sometimes it's hard for you to really know because you're not experienced. You've got to look at resumes. You got to look at where these dudes come from. You got to look at their training techniques. You've also got to look at who they've trained, who they've made popular or special, or and how you look after a certain amount of time with them. Otherwise, we'll end up one of those liars.
That's a fact. This is a good question for you, Eddie. I got a question. So I'm about to compete in my first ever amateur boxing match, but my coach and everyone tells me to keep moving my feet. But every time I get hit, I stop moving my feet. Any pointers?
Well, you keep moving your feet. It's a little bit hard sometimes to land the shot you want to land too. But I mean, I guess they're telling you to keep moving. You know what I mean? To keep distance between you and your guy. I mean, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know what the whole issue is, but what I would say is try to do your best to listen to your coach and do what you can. If you get hit and if you get buzzed or whatever, you're not going to be able to move, because as soon as you start trying to move, your legs are going to be a little wiggling. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I feel like footwork is obviously important. So I kind of understand why they're saying that, but sometimes too much movement is not good either, because what will happen is especially if you get an aggressive guy, he'll start to close in on you and gets closer and gets closer and gets closer. And then you're looking for an exit. You're turning around like, I got to get out. I got to get away. I got to be able to keep my feet moving like my trainers and people tell me. And then it looks like you're running away, and then you start to see the wall closing in on you, and then the pressure starts to get to you. Sometimes, and I'm not trying to tell you not to listen to your trainers, you should absolutely listen to your coaches. But sometimes you got to stand up a little bit to what's going on. You've got to be able to give them a little something in order for them to respect that you have something to give. Otherwise, the wall is going to keep closing in on you. And then when you do get hit and stop, it's going to be like, how the hell do I deal with this? You got to be comfortable enough, dealing with punches coming at you. I would not put you in a fight if you weren't comfortable with punches coming at you. You have to be You have to be completely comfortable with the idea of getting hit and what to do if you get hit and how to deal with getting hit and how not to get hit. All of those things have to be. It's defense and footwork first. Once you get that, then you get all the combinations and all that fancy shit. But the most important thing is to keep you alive in there and to keep you from getting your noodle knocked around too much. You understand what I'm saying? So, yes, keep your feet moving and listen to your trainers, but you absolutely have to be comfortable with the idea of dealing with punches.
Right, for sure, man. So maybe you may want to work some partner drills. Maybe you can suggest to your coach, hey man, can I do some drills? I don't know if you are, but like little drills, like maybe you have one of your boxing partners throw a 1, 2, 3 at you, and you just bang, bang, bang. You get comfortable feeling that impact. You got to get comfortable feeling it there. Somebody throws a body shot, you drop your knees and you block that shot on your arm. Get comfortable with feeling this, because this is what happens. Guys get hit and they're like, and if you retreat all the time, not only are you not in position to counterpunch, you're also going to get tired a lot. You're doing
that pressure,
excessive. You want to just be relaxed. Guy throws a punch at you, block. Somebody throws a punch at you, block. Somebody throws you, slip. Somebody throws a punch, you block, you punch. You know what I mean? You don't want to be in a situation where you're all fidgety and move your feet. And you're like moving left and right like a ping pong machine. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that, man. That's not good either. You have to learn to control, like Eddie said, control yourself. And the way you develop that is with some drilling. And then not only the drilling, sparring you can handle. You need to start sparring some guys that aren't going to be too much better than you right now. You need to develop your style, your skills, your confidence. And then once you're developing that, then you're ready for the next level. I'm assuming your coach knows this already. I'm assuming you have a good coach. I'm not sitting here trying to say that's not what these guys are doing, but these are just some of the things based off of your question that I'm hearing as well. Wish you the best of luck, man.
Yes, sir.
So Many Nuggets, coach. Your YouTube channel alone has more gold than the Federal Reserves. Thank you so much.
That's what's up, man. That's a nice.
Appreciate it. Peter Nieves in the building, cuz. Peter Nieves, man. Everybody knows that's my cousin. He was a professional fighter. He was a fantastic amateur fighter. He fought everybody named Mother. He's from New York City. Had him on here a few times. I'm gonna get you on here. I'm doing 30 days straight, and since I've already been on here for an hour and change, I'll shoot you a message, man. I'm gonna bring you back on here, man. He got a lot of experience. Fought Kevin Kelly, fought so many people. His last fight was against Baby Bull Diaz, man. So
wow,
around.
Dang, really?
Yeah, he fought some
guys.
Juan
Diaz. Oh shit, that's for sure.
I didn't even know about it when I was growing up. I wish I did, man. This dude's a fantastic fighter, man. He could fight his ass off. Let's see here. Cuz, what do you see the biggest mistake with these new and upcoming superstars? What do you see as the biggest mistake with these new and upcoming superstars? For me is, I believe, well, I don't know. When you say superstars, you know, that could mean two things. It can mean these up and coming stars, or it can mean guys who are really stars. But I just think that these guys believe the hype a little too soon. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes. I think that guys, you know, with proper management and proper promotion, they get moved properly. They build their records. Their records are really good. And now with social media, everybody and their mother is, you know, saying how good you are and all this stuff. And then the next thing you know, you start to believe the hype. And then the next thing you know, you finally go in there with a dog, a real killer, and you don't even know how to handle it because you've been moved. So you've been spoon fed. You're believing everybody around you. You know, you're thinking you're more than what you are. Maybe you're slacking off in your training. Maybe you're picking and choosing the easy sparring so you can feel good in the gym, instant gratification. You're not learning. You know, you think you know everything. So when your coach tells you to do something, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And all that combined to me is the biggest problem. What do you see, Eddie?
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. You know what I mean? I think also, man, people, like you said, moving a little too fast, but also not paying attention to certain aspects defensively, man. I think a lot of these guys are getting in here just, you know, thinking they're just going to knock guys' heads off and nothing's coming back. You know what I mean? I think you got to respect the guys you get in with and make sure you're prepared to defend what's coming. I'm seeing even really top level talented guys get hit with shots that they shouldn't get hit with. Like, you know, you get hit with right hands and big left hooks in situations when you shouldn't. I feel like more people need to pay attention to what's coming and be prepared to then fire back. As a lot of times, man, I see guys getting hit, like even Boots, as good as that kid is. No way that dude should have got with that right hand before he knocked the boy out. Granted, he knocked the boy out and took the shot really well, but as good as he is, and I feel like he's the juggernaut of juggernauts, I feel like he's going to really be a tough one to deal with. But you can't put yourself in position like that. You know what I mean? One thing I watched Floyd, and if Floyd got caught with a nasty shot like he did with Shane Mosley, he had that one opportunity in that round where Shane almost got him out of there. Did you see any more opportunities the rest of that fight? Hell no. And that's how it has to be. You know what I mean? You got to learn from the mistakes you make. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I think a lot of times these guys are in here and they're making the fights a little bit too fun for the fans. I'm not saying that. Look, I ain't hating on, you know, exciting fights, but I am saying if you are trying to be a top guy and not trying to lose your O too soon, pay attention to what's coming.
Yeah. You know, Boots did get caught with a shot. Boots is such an exciting fighter, man. It's a long time since I've seen a fighter like Jaron Ennis. Well, that's what we say when we say Boots, for those who don't know. It's a long time since I've seen a fighter like him who can box, who has good defense, and will freaking let his hands go with some power, man. Honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen a fighter with all those skill sets that good together. Like, he has the power of somebody who really can hurt you. He has great skills. He could box southpaw. I mean, I'm trying to think of a fighter who matches that. I really can't think of one, man. Can you?
Honestly, right now? Nah, man. He lets his hands go. So because you could say Canelo. You could say Canelo because Canelo's always, you know, but he's so – I feel like Canelo is what – I feel like an elite guy that doesn't take stupid chances, but doesn't take unnecessary chances. Like, I feel like he's really always on point defensive. My opinion, Canelo is. But Boots, man, Boots is special, you know, but I feel like sometimes he takes a little bit too many chances. Like, I think even with Lipinets, he got caught with something that was a little bit, you know, it didn't really do much to him. Like, he was all right. But, you know, you don't want to be in there with a dude that's really cracking and you get caught with something you don't see. And then you looking up like, damn, how'd I get down here? And then you got to come back. Hey, look, we all want to see, you know, people go through adversity. Some of these fighters, these great fighters, go through adversity, but not unnecessarily. You understand what I'm saying? Just pay attention to what's coming. That's all I'm saying.
Right. I think Boots is gonna learn.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's gonna learn. He's a special kid. He's got a great team with him. His father's doing a great job with him. So I think he's gonna learn. Absolutely. But I just think every young fighter gets super excited when they hurt a guy. I
Oh
just
yeah,
hope that he doesn't do that one day, and when he does get caught, it's lights out. You know what I mean? Because
that's what I'm saying.
it only takes one shot. You know what I mean?
And that's why,
Big shout out. Hold on, I gotta say big shout out to Rap Star Boxing Knowledge, respect from the UK. Big shout out to the UK, man. We love the UK.
always,
Listen,
that's my spot too.
I went to the UK, man. I got nothing but love. I know you spent time in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
Love. There's some real thorough brothers in the UK too, man.
No
So
doubt.
all my Americans out there who think it's sweet, man. Don't go to the UK and get hurt, buddy. It's thorough. Real dudes in the UK, man. We got nothing but love for everybody over there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here, man. Try to get something else. What is that? UOO. Eddie, thanks for the super chat again for the record. Eddie, how can I train speed as a heavyweight?
Man, honestly, man, speed is a heavyweight. It's a thought process, man. It's like you got to really, really think it. And it's not to say that, there's certain people who are naturally born with it. But when I first started boxing, I was throwing one jab at a time, kind of slow and predictable, when I was a little kid and all. And obviously, as you get more experience and as you get better, the technique, I can't overstate how important technique is in improving your speed in accuracy and all of these things. You understand what I'm saying? You can punch with weights, you can do all of that stuff, but it's really a mindset. It really is. And also ironing out your technique as best you can, taking out some of the little extra things, like don't have too much fat on your shots. You know what I'm saying? Cut it down. Make sure you minimize the amount of
Can you explain for
air.
Can you explain for those who don't speak boxing, boxonometry? What the hell?
Yeah.
The fat
I got you, the boxing lingo and all that. No, but what I mean by fat is don't make your punches too big, too wide. Don't put too much air in between your shots. You know what I'm saying? You don't always need it. Cut out the middleman in a sense. Like a lot of times guys, when they're turning their right hand, I wish I had enough space to show you, but they're taking it too far away from their body.
Well, if you had your camera on a stand, you know what I mean?
Man.
The whole thing, you could have been like, you know what I mean? You could have been doing, you know what I'm saying? You did all of that.
No doubt. But since like you see my hand right here, right? My hand's not moved over here. If it goes out the line of the camera,
hold the camera like this.
You know what I'm saying? Look,
hold the camera like this, sideways.
Oh yeah, my bad. I don't know if that was going to switch. Oh yeah, it worked. But you see right here, instead of coming and bringing your right hand out like that, it just straight to the target. Those types of things cut down the amount of time it takes to get for the shot to get there. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people don't take that in consideration when they're thinking speed. Speed and as far as they say speed is power, but also technique is speed. Technique is power. All of these things, if done properly, help cut down unnecessary time in between shots.
And what's funny, man, because guys always ask these type of questions. How can I do this as a heavyweight? How can I do this as a southpaw? The same way everybody else does it is the answer. Just because you're a heavyweight, that doesn't mean that the training regimen is completely different. Just because you're a southpaw, that doesn't mean that the training regimen is completely different. That's why when I made that, that's when we made our course, How to Box the Opposite Stance, I was good. It was really a southpaw course because everybody who's a southpaw is like, when are you gonna make a southpaw course? When are you gonna make a southpaw course? And I'm like, dude, all my courses are mirrored in southpaw. What you're really asking me is, how do you box the opposite stance? So that's why How to Box the Opposite Stance. Because if I'm gonna teach a southpaw, I'm gonna teach them the same way I teach an orthodox, except their right hand is now in front. But the techniques are the same, the slipping is the same. Now, when we're boxing the opposite stance, that's when we start talking about the tactical stuff, like the lead foot outside and slipping, throwing the right hand leads and all those type of things. That's why I named it How to Box the Opposite Stance. Southpaws act like it's a whole different style of boxing. It's the same thing. Heavyweights, you're training like middleweights, except you're a bigger person.
Now, and it's also the company you keep. What really helped me with speed is always competing against my brother and my cousins who were all lighter weight fighters. I was the only heavyweight in the camp. So if you really want a little bit of information on that, and you really think, oh, you know, what is the secret to being a fat? Is competing with faster guys with a faster pace too. That's another thing. A faster pace, meaning like, for example, I fought a guy a South African guy. You know, it was really, really good. He was good. Now I felt like I wasn't properly prepared, but that's not important. But he ended up winning. One, not necessarily because he was faster, but because his pace was better. His pace was faster. He was sharper. He had a better understanding of the pace of a cruiserweight fight versus what I had. Like, I'm thinking, oh, it's all about skills, all about one-punch speed, but it's not. You have to be comfortable with the pace. So if you're training with lighter weight guys, that's going to help you be a sharper fighter, a faster fighter. You know what I mean? It's going to help you think faster. You know what I mean? Your combinations will be sharper because you're trying to compete with them. That's another one.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, man. If you want to be fast, train fast. I actually got a video on my YouTube channels, 5 tips on how to increase speed. So if you go to my YouTube channel, go watch that video. You know what I'm saying? It's free. You know what I mean? You can watch that, and it's going to talk about a lot of things that Eddie talked about and a few other ideas that I have. My man Drew Johnson says, smash the like button when you get a chance. Thank you so much, man. I always forget to say that to people, man. Like, just press the like button. Boop. That's all it takes, man. I'm going live. I'm not going to make Eddie do this, you know what I'm saying? But Eddie will come on as much as possible. I'm going live every single day for the next 30 days. No days off November. That's what I'm doing. It's either going to be at 8 or 9 p.m. Drop the time that you think would be appropriate to go live. I'm on the eastern side of the world. I'm in the New York time zone. What would be better for y'all, 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.? Is 8 p.m. 1 hour too early, or is 9 p.m. 1 hour too late? Let me know. But I want to be in that prime time type time. Let me know. Let's see here. When I get some cash, I'm going to buy the course. Ha ha. Thanks, God. Great advice, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. You know, you're going to learn a lot, man. I tell people all the time, I promote my courses, but I make sure that I'm promoting something that brings value, right? It's like an exchange, right? Like, I want to make a living. You want information. We put the best information together. I make a living. Thank you very much. Fair exchange. That's all it is. Eddie Chambers is one of the people who, matter of fact, the only person that I've ever done courses with. I really feel like I don't need to get anybody else. You know, people have asked me, oh, when are you going to put somebody else on the course? I'm like, I don't need to. I got Eddie fucking Chambers, man. I got Eddie Chambers, man. Like,
that's
come on, man. We got the fastest human being on the planet. Like, I mean, come on. Like, we got Eddie Chambers, man. 42 wins, 5 losses, 23 wins by knockout. 4 of those freaking 5 losses are BS, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? So you really only got 1 loss, you know what I mean? And it is what it is, man. You know what I mean? We got the best. We got Eddie with us, man. You know what I mean? Who else do you know with almost 50 fights who speaks this articulately and not even a little sign of any boxing? If you didn't know Eddie Chambers was a boxer, you would think that you could whoop his ass. If you didn't know Eddie Chambers was a boxer, you would think this man never fought a day in his life. This guy left he left the boxing game with his faculties. How many people do you know who fought guys 50 pounds heavier, okay, 5 inches taller, who were known for knocking people out, and leaves with his faculties, man? That means he didn't get hit much. That means this guy got fantastic defense. That means he had to have fantastic fundamentals. Y'all give Eddie his flowers, man. Put some roses in there in the chat. Give Eddie his goddamn flowers, man. These guys cry when, you know, their opponent comes in 1 pound overweight, man. Oh, yeah, that's it. This guy fought guys 50 pounds overweight, man. Come on, I don't want to hear it, man.
I did.
We'll talk about a super chat. $50 super chat. Eddie, I'm gonna send you a check, man. I'm gonna send you a check.
Yeah.
$50 super chat. Thank you so much. Ali versus Usyk. Ali versus Tyson Fury with having the nutritionist and coaching from 2021. So we got Ali in today's era. We got Ali with today's coaching. How does he do against Tyson Fury or Usyk? That is a hell of a question, because I was having this debate with my boys, and he was like, yeah, Ali wouldn't be able to survive. Okay, well, we're going to take Ali's body, and we're going to go ahead, and we're going to give him the best coaching that 2021 can offer.
Ali at 220 or 225, maybe close to 230, still in shape with his ability to move. Man, I think he beats Usyk. No disrespect. I think Usyk is great, but I think he beats Usyk. Tyson's tough because he's so tall, man. So tall, and he moves, and his reach is 85 across. And I know it's like, damn, that's your friend. You trying to be? I'm like, no, bro. That has nothing to do with that shit. Like, if I didn't know Tyson a day in my life, I never met him, I would still say, let's put it this way: if I worked with him and never talked to him and never spent any time with him, I would say the same goddamn thing. Probably even more so, because this dude is difficult. And I'm talking about the greatest of all time that most people, agree that Ali. I think he transcends. But I'm telling you, Tyson Fury is a puzzle and a half, bro. He is and you ain't gotta be a huge puncher to be difficult. And this fucking guy is absolutely the definition of difficult when you talk about fight.
So what you're saying, without saying it, is Tyson Fury beats Ali, even if Ali was in this era,
because he's just too tall, but and too mobile. If they were both 6'3", I would
people off, Eddie. You're gonna piss a lot.
I don't give a shit. I don't care about pissing people off. I'm about the truth. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm 6'1", right? And me versus Ali obviously would be, he's a little taller and probably got a little bit longer reach, and you know what I mean. I don't even want to say faster because I don't know, but when he was Cassius Clay, the boy was fast. I mean, he was like light heavyweight out there throwing punches, but I don't know. But when I got in there with Tyson, I was 195 pounds the first time I sparred with him, and the fucking guy was still hard to hit. So I'm trying to tell you, that is not what people think. He's a very difficult person to work with.
Add some bonuses in here, because he hooked us up with a $50 super chat, so we're gonna hook him up. Ali versus Anthony Joshua. Let's add a bonus. He ain't add Anthony Joshua's name in there. Ali versus Deontay Wilder. Today's nutrition and coaching. Who wins? I need to know.
You asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Oh, my bad. Deontay Wilder is in every fight because of that right hand. But he's getting peppered all night long by Ali, and he may get worn out and eventually stop. But Deontay Wilder of the two is the tougher opponent, in my opinion, because though Anthony Joshua was a better fighter than Wilder, he doesn't have the same knockout, power and that Deontay has. And Deontay, he's just so unpredictable with what's coming. You understand what I'm saying? He's so unpredictable with what's coming. Who
wins?
Say again?
Who's gonna win? Who do you got winning?
Ali. Ali wins. Ali wins. And the reason why I say Ali wins with Wilder is because Ali can take that shot. He'll get up like Tyson Fury did. He's that kind of dude. He done got hit with hooks.
Man. I don't know if he's getting up like Tyson.
Bro, he's getting up. He's getting the fuck up. He done got up from nasty left hooks from Joe Frazier. Now, Joe Frazier's not the same size and all that. I get it. And, maybe he got hit with George Foreman's biggest shots. And we know George Foreman can knock a house down.
That's true. You did get me.
If Ali could take that punishment for 15 rounds, bro.
So he beats Joshua. You got him beating Usyk?
Oh yeah, I got him beating Usyk for sure.
So you got him beating Usyk.
But
how about Joshua?
Well, you know what? Oh, he beats Joshua definitely, because Joshua is the reason.
He's beating Wilder. He's losing the Fury, and he's beating Usyk. You sure?
I feel okay. With Usyk, hear me out with Usyk. And what you're saying is we're all talking about Ali in this era. You understand what I'm saying?
With today's advantages.
With the same event and him being ahead of his time back then. Imagine him now. We'd be looking at him like he was a god. But I'm telling you, with the size is the one thing that Tyson has with his ability on top of it that makes it extremely difficult for me to see him being able to win because he has to box it. How are you going to box a 6'9" guy that can box almost as well as you can? He's 6'9" and moving. And if it really gets too crazy, he can lay on you and wear you down. He has too many different dimensions to be able to figure it out. I'm telling you, man, I've been in there with the dude. I know how difficult the shit is.
All right, so Ali beats 3 and loses to 1. So Tyson Fury is the greatest heavyweight of all time?
When we say he's the biggest matchup problem of all time. He's the biggest matchup problem of all time. There's very few people that I can see matching up with him well. It's very hard for me to believe that it's going to be easy. If you look at Wilder, right? Wilder is, and this is not, I'm not saying this with any disrespect, but he skill-wise might be one of the worst champions of all time to do what he's done. No, listen, to do what he's done. He has a hell of a resume.
I don't mean to say this in any disrespect, but he is the worst champion.
No. To do what he's done. Skill-wise, I'm saying. Skill-wise. He doesn't have certain basic fundamentals to do what he's done to get that far and not be figured out.
And not only did he do it as a pro, he did it as an amateur.
Exactly. Until he got to this bronze medal round, and then he got put down or beat up, and that happens because those guys
He still made it. He still made it.
He did make it. Look at his resume and what he's done as a professional. People really look at Wilder like, man, he might be the best of all time. Be the biggest puncher, the scariest puncher of all. Listen, people are talking about that, whether it's true or not, whether we believe it or not. That's the facts, right? This is what people are saying. So Wilder has done. I feel like I have skills that could combat with anybody. Period. That's ever put gloves on. I feel that about myself. I know I have the ability. But look at what he's done versus what I've done. So who's the overachiever? I feel like he is. I feel like I might have underachieved based on what I can do and the limitations of my size.
I don't know, man. You've done a lot, man. You beat a lot of big names. You beat a former world champion one fight after he won the title. I think Wilder had a huge advantage over you, which was
of course with size.
6'7". The weight, obviously, he didn't have a big advantage, but we know that the long, tall, lanky guys are the ones who are cracking.
No doubt.
Look in history, you know what I mean. So. It is what it is. But, thank you again, man. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I don't want to say it wrong, man. VP.
Just call him fam.
I like that. Man, VP, man. A lot of people answering my question, man. I know I'm late on these comments answering the question I'm going live every day. No days off November. All right, no days off November, man. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. 9 p.m.
Damn. Everybody wants perfect. Damn.
The late show with Coach Anthony.
I like that.
Somebody wrote, please, 8 p.m. You got fans in Europe. 8 p.m. is cool. I'm in Texas. 10 p.m.
Damn.
Okay.
I think 8:30. I think 8:30. I think that's what we're looking at.
I think Nando is winning the cake right now. We got Chambers can do it all. Eddie is the man.
Oh, man. How nice.
Eddie was a defensive fortress. He
said,
oh, my God. He still is, man.
Hey, I'll take that. Appreciate it.
Bro, how long is your sale going on, Coach? On the West, 9 p.m. is great, but I can catch on YouTube after the sale is going on. If you're watching this, you get access to the sale. So if you're watching this, you get access to the sale. The sale was only being promoted here, not promoting it anywhere else. So if you're watching this, no matter when you're watching it, you can get ground up 50% off, okay? And you can get 60% off of all my courses, off every other course. The only reason I don't got ground up 50 for the build you from the ground up at 50 is because I never do a sale for a brand new course. I usually do a sale for courses after they've been out for a number of months or whatever. But this one, I wanted to get as many people on it as possible. I did cut the sale publicly, but if you're watching this, you're supporting me by being on here, you get the sale, all right? So that's how you're going to find out about it, by being on this. And anything else I do in the future, you'll be the first to know if you're watching these live. All right. Oh, damn. See, I'm way behind here, Eddie. Look, Eddie.
What's up?
People giving you your flowers.
Hey, that's what's up.
Eddie was a great flower. Look, more flowers.
Man, I got flowers coming in. That's what's up. Y'all making me feel good.
More flowers. More flowers. You feel me, Eddie?
Yes, sir.
True champion, man. Trust me, we all appreciate you, man.
No doubt. I appreciate y'all.
Somebody wrote Ali was too fast for Fury for me, but it wouldn't be a wash for sure.
I'm telling you, bro. I thought I was too fast for Fury too. Trust me. And listen, I've been in there with welterweights that can't move as well as I can. As Vladimir will tell you, he had welterweights in camp and still struggled hitting me. I'm telling you, I'm not just talking shit just because I know the guy and he's a friend or nothing like that, and because I spent time with the family. I'm telling you because this dude was a problem for me. And he's a problem for everyone. I'm telling you. I do need to get back in the gym. Kind of fat right now, man. I got you.
Nah. He's talking about you fighting, man.
I know. I just like to flip it to the bad. You know how you do.
Somebody wrote, Usyk is giving these heavyweights problems with footwork, foot speed, and a good jab. Ali has all that and is taller and heavier than Usyk.
If he was 220 and 230, I think they're about the same size, to be honest. Him and Usyk. I think Usyk 6'3" too. He actually didn't look that much shorter.
My boy says, sorry, not in dollars, Danish kroners. I don't even know what Danish kroners are. Let me change the currency. I'll hit with another one. Listen, man, if you guys are showing support in any way, I said $50. It ain't $50. It's all good. I'm cool with that, man. I appreciate the support, man. You know, I'm not on here asking y'all to give me anything. I'm only promoting my courses and trying to provide value, obviously trying to grow the channel. That's really my agenda here, and provide real boxing knowledge with real boxing people like Eddie and anybody else who I bring on here. So, you know, at the end of the day, just you guys being here is enough. But if you guys want to show love, man, of course, the love is appreciated. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you not to show love. You know what I mean? Thank you very much. But let's keep this going. Romero, I think we know that.
Ramon.
He just sent you your flowers.
That's what's up, Ramon. Good looking out, young fella.
My man Jay Digital said, what's good, coach? Just checking in because I told you I would. I'm busy right now. Salute, but I must comment on this conversation. Eddie makes good points, but there ain't no way in hell Tyson Fury beating Ali. I told you was going to piss some people off.
Hey, look. This is the thing. This is where I'm coming from. And I'm not arguing that. Everybody has their own belief system. You know what I'm saying? I'm coming from a position of experience. I'm coming from a position of looking up at a dude and saying, hey, he's going to be way too slow, and finding out he's not. And he's halfway across the ring still throwing shots that are getting close enough to hit me, making it difficult for me to even get close to land shots until I kind of understood what to do to make myself competitive. Even competitive. I'm trying to tell you, it's not about ego and, like I said, it's because I know it. It's because it's a fact. Anthony Joshua is a good fighter, but he's not going to be able to understand. He's not going to understand how difficult of a fight, if he gets past Usyk, that it is going to be to fight Tyson. I'm just trying to tell you, this is a guy that he is an extremely tough nut to crack. Pause. I'm just trying to tell you. It's like I can't stress the height. But when I say height, everybody always say, oh, it's just the height, it's just the size. It's like, yeah, but it's not the height. If it wouldn't just be the height, it would be the height because he can move too. So now every single time you get closer, all you gotta do is take a couple more steps, use some of that footwork to get out of range. And he's still smacking you in the face with the jab. And he's still busy. And he got a hell of a motor. And he's heavy. If all else fails, he can lay on you, wear you down. Understand, I'm not trying to say it because I know the dude. I'm saying it because of what you can clearly see. It's just, I'm telling you, man, it's a hard situation. Pause. Very.
I'm not sure what you mean. We love you, Eddie, and you are great, but Ali, you are not.
Oh, I ain't say I was.
Oh, I just peeped at what he was trying to say.
Hey, look, I didn't say I was. But if I competed with some of the guys that Ali competed with back in the day, you might have thought I was. I'm just saying.
Eddie.
I'm just saying. I'm not trying to say I'm the greatest fighter of all time. I'm not saying I would transcend the sport of boxing, but my skill level was that of anybody you can imagine. And tell me that I can't do what they can do, because I know I can with an elite guy in front of me. But what I'm trying to tell you is Tyson Fury is 6'9", 260 pounds, still moving for 12 rounds, smacking you in the face with shots. I'm telling you, you can say what you want to say, and I ain't going to disagree with you because it's your opinion. This is all in a matter of opinions because we can't actually see it happen. But I'm telling you, and this is how I put it to you. Me and Peter and Tyson, all of us were in Camp Huey, everybody, and we were getting ready for Chisora, the Tyson Fury Chisora 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we was calling different people and we had a freaking assembly line of dudes coming in, right? Of fighters from all over different places, from the States, from all different parts, right? We were sending people home as much as they were coming in.
Damn.
And Peter was getting pissed, like, yo, man, what's up with these dudes from the States, man? Y'all talk about y'all supposed to have all the, and I'm like, Peter, man, you can bring any dude in the world in here right now. Tyson's whooping their ass. The only one ass he's not whooping is mine. Why? Because I've been here for 6 months sparring with him, so I know what to do to be able to compete with him. But you ain't bringing no one person, and you could bring Klitschko, and I told him this. I said, you can bring Klitschko in here tonight, and he's whooping Klitschko's ass in the gym, and I will put money on it. And he was like, oh, come on. I'm not bullshitting you. I wouldn't tell you bullshit. I'll tell you the truth. I said, he's going to stop Chisora. I said, he's going to beat Chisora so bad that Chisora may not want to fight the rest of his life again. What happened? He did exactly what I said. And not because, because I thought it and I'm wishing it to happen. No, because that's the facts. Ain't nobody in this era beating this dude, bro. It's just not happening. Unless I get my shit together enough to get in there with him, I may survive, but I'm not even going to fucking say I would beat him because he's too big, too difficult to deal with. I'm telling you. I'm being honest. And the only way you beating him is if you catch him. That's it. And if he gets up, you really going to get your ass whooped then. I'm telling you.
Eddie's a big believer in Tyson Fury, man. He's been in the ring. He shared the ring with him. He knows how good this guy really is.
And I don't, if I never met the dude, if I never knew him personally.
There's people starting to think Usyk is the guy that could beat Fury. And me and you both agreed when we looked at that box rec, how impressive it was.
Oh, yeah.
One of the most impressive box recs I've seen in quite a while.
That's cool and all. But how you gonna get close to him to do all that shit? I like Usyk. I think he has the ability to do what he needs to do in just about any fight, except that one. That's my opinion. That don't mean I'm right. He might go in there and surprise me too. I just don't think so. He got too much shit going on, and like I told you, if it gets too crazy, he can go to the I'ma lay on you and make it tough for you to even get past the 5th round because you're going to be too damn exhausted dealing with all this weight. You can always go to that. This is why I'm trying to tell you that it's going to be almost impossible to get somebody that has both. Only way that you're going to find somebody that's going to beat him is if they're almost as big, pause, and has the same physical ability and mobility and all of those things as he does. The same way Vladimir. It was why I said that he would be Vladimir. Before that, we could not find a guy that could compete with Vladimir's size and mobility at the same time. It was one or the other. And if you were small enough to deal with if you were small enough and athletic enough to deal with his mobility, you were too small. If you were big and you shared the same size with him, and you might have been as strong, you weren't mobile enough. So he had a special blend of both. But then when Tyson got in there, we talk about skills, we talk about mobility, we talk about size. You know what I mean? It's everything. And that's why he beat Vladimir. And that's why Vladimir could never beat him unless he caught him.
Ricky Ferguson said, if you purchase the Body Head Combo course, obviously it seems like he has. Big shout out to you, Ricky. And want to follow along, don't try to punch as fast as Eddie. Just follow the rhythm or your shoulders are going to be sore as hell.
Yeah, no doubt.
Eddie's a different kind of speed, man. I don't think y'all know, man, till you get in front of him, man. It's a different kind of speed, man. But yeah, Eddie, look, man, I'm gonna cap this right here, man. We were on here for 2 hours. You told me you were gonna give me.
I know, and it's your fault, bro. It's your fault.
You told me we were gonna hold on. We got a super chat. Coach Channels Fire Chambers Champ Respect. I am thinking of training my son as advice for teaching my son 6 to 10 years old. I'm gonna give you advice. This ain't a plug for my courses, even though I plug my courses throughout these whole lives. But you know, I would suggest Build You from the Ground Up. I just dropped it. It's basically teaching you everything from the stance all the way to how to hit the heavy bag. There's not an overload of information. I made sure that I put what I felt you needed for a certain amount of time because I'm coming out with 2.0, 3.0, and who knows how many I'm going to do. And honestly, training children is just like training an adult. You got to teach them slow. You got to teach them, you know, the basics. Sometimes kids learn even faster than adults. You'd be surprised. If your kid is 6 years old, I wouldn't worry too much about him doing too many things. I would probably keep him right in front of me. I would have to physically grab him, readjust them, have him throwing the punches. Then you're going to have to readjust them again, catch the hands, keep it simple. Don't try to teach them a bunch of techniques. Keep it as simple as possible. I have a lot of experience training children. I got a lot of experience taking kids with, you know, 7, 8-year-old, 0 amateur fights, building them up. Eddie will tell you I've taken kids with 0 amateur fights and built them up to tournaments and national tournaments. And this is exactly what I did. I would focus with them, fix them, teach them, fix them, teach them. And as they get older, then they'll start to incorporate. They already understand how to move their hands. But you want to keep it as simple and as basic as possible. I knew a trainer who used to take his fighters, Eddie, and he would only teach his fighters the 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 to these amateur shows. He would take his kid, only teach him a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, stepping forward. His kid was only 8 years old, and he would beat all these kids just throwing the 1-2 because he threw a nice 1-2 stepping forward, and the kids didn't know how to handle that because they were only 8 years old at the time. A lot of kids weren't fully developed. This is when you get to like that 10, 11, 12 years old is when you start seeing kids really starting to look like, you know, like they look like freaking professionals. Remember Bino?
Oh my God, yeah. Bino.
I mean, some of these kids boxing better than adults at 10 years old. You know
Real shit. Yeah.
Crazy. Honestly, I've seen kids that look really good as kids, and then when they get older, they don't look as good to me. And I'm like, dog, you was 10 years old, you was doing everything. What happened?
Well, you know why? You know why, Ed? It's like when you get older, now everybody's doing everything. So now you're not really anything. Yeah, you're not doing anything special anymore. So now you have to improve. So when you're like a kid and you've learned so fast, it's like you still have to continue to get better. And sometimes people tell you, you're great, you're the greatest, you're the best. And then you hear that all your life. And, you know, as you get older, you stop improving because you stop really working on things that are going to help you improve because you think you've arrived. It's important to stay hungry and stay like my first 10 fights, I won 8 of them by knockout as an amateur.
Damn.
You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. But that doesn't mean that I have arrived. I didn't know shit. I didn't know anything. And my dad knew that. We just kept pushing. He kept pushing me and kept pushing me. And eventually, right? I see that. And eventually,
thank you, man. I appreciate you. Go ahead.
Yeah, and eventually I continue. I only stay amateur 4 years, bro. Only 4 years, and then turn pro at 18. And so mine was learning a lot of the time, especially as a professional, was on the job. Although I was always in with professionals as sparring. So yeah, that you just got to continue to push them to improve and keep challenging them at different points. Start slow, but still challenge them as they gradually get better.
Yes, sir. Coach, what happened to that Indian girl from the video?
Oh,
She
yeah.
was talented and she's still fighting. Yeah, my girl Davika. They actually sent me that girl from India. I trained her for 6 weeks. She was just a special talent. She still is. She's still competing. She's fighting in all types of tournaments, Eddie. She's doing really well.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
she
I like
first
the
came to my
Vika
gym,
cool.
she trained. She first came to my gym, she trained. She was getting her butt whooped for a while by the amateurs I had. And before you knew it, she was in
He
there.
was giving out, but
She was whooping their ass too. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
she was good, man. She's a quick learner. I wish I could have coached her full time, man, but she lived in India. She literally came to me because she heard about me. She knew at the time I was running a nice amateur boxing program, and she flew all the way out. And it was just a lot of pleasure, man. Her sisters, her father, her mother, fantastic, great people.
Great people.
I got a lot of love for India. You know, and it was just a lot of fun, man. I wish her the best. Code one more time so I could save some money. All right, well, let's get it, man. We got ground up 50% off of the ground up. Build you from the ground up is on my website, CoachAnthonyBoxing.com. And I already said, if you're interested in any of the other courses, 60% off. Think about that. Just think about that, man. It's like damn near Black Friday sale. We're doing it right now. Only doing it for the people who are here, not promoting it all over the place, not posting it on Instagram and the other sites. I'm literally just letting y'all know since y'all show love and pulled up. So, you know, I'd rather y'all get a course than just give me a super chat. I'd rather y'all buy a course, support it, get a course, get something that you could hold on to, something that you could watch every day. So when you do come back to the lives, you could be like, damn, Ant, that was money well spent. You know, that's what I want. You know what I mean? That's what I really want to do. I want to provide value. Me and Eddie, we work hard when we put these things together, man. And I'm looking forward to the new ones, Eddie. I can't wait to drop that fire. I ain't gonna lie to you. They're gonna love it. They're gonna love it. And there's so much more stuff that I'm gonna be doing. But this is one of the main things we're gonna be doing for the month of November. This is an experiment. If we can get this to pick up, Eddie, who knows? You know what I mean?
Let's go. I'm with it. You know that.
Yeah. That's it, man. I think this is it. This dude keeps asking this question, so we're gonna answer it for him. How many dudes did Eddie KO in the streets? He's very interested.
Not one. Not well. In school, punched a couple dudes in the face a couple times. I'm not a fighter like that, bro. I don't spend my time in the street looking for fights. My experience, most of it came from in the ring stuff against high-level professionals and amateurs and things like that. So I'm not a street guy. I never was. I never professed to be. I don't like fighting or getting into confrontations with people for unnecessary reasons. Like when I play ball, people look at me all the time and they just always want to pick at me because I'm a nice guy, just looking to have a good time. And I love basketball as much as any sport that I've ever, played before. So, but, that doesn't mean I can't handle myself. You know what I'm saying? I done got punched by the biggest, strongest, toughest dude on the planet. And I held my own. So ain't no little motherfucker in the street gonna talk a little bit of shit and think that he's gonna shake me and think that I won't still put my hands on him. Because I will if I have to. But I don't need to, and I like to stay away from it if I can. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Well, there you go. That's it, guys. 2 hours, man. I plan on doing this every single day for the next 30 days. So we can't really play this out all in one day. Honestly, I thought I was only going to be on here for an hour. I expected Eddie on here for 30 minutes. Eddie, it's fight week. So I expect to come on here every day. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff, especially with the weigh-ins and the media and everything like that. Everything that's going on, I'm going to try my best to cover. So Eddie, man, even if you come on here just to drop a few of your insight on what you see with this whole Canelo Plant thing, this rolling situation, whatever, or, you know what I mean, just want to pull up, man, say what's up. Please, man, come back. I think 9 p.m. is going to be the time. I was going to stick with 8, but I think the people spoke. They said 9. What you think, Eddie? Is 9 better? Would you?
9 is good. I mean, look, I like 8 because, well, if let's put it this way: if it's 9, I may not be able to spend all of those, especially during the week, because I got so much training and all this stuff that I got to do during the week. But on the weekends, I'll be at 9. I could be on there still whenever. But during the week, like Monday through Thursday, I'll be able to. I'll pull up for a couple minutes or whatever, a little bit of time. But during the weekend, I'm good. You already know me.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna. All right. Well. Yeah, 8 or 9. I'm gonna try 9 tomorrow and see how it does, man. But anyway, thank you everybody else, man, for pulling up. I'm gonna bring Tevin Farmer on here this week. Tevin Farmer is talking, a lot on Twitter. He has a lot to talk about with this whole Rolly situation, Tank Davis situation. You know what I'm saying? I've never had Tevin Farmer on none of my lives. So I'm going to bring Tevin Farmer on here this week. So you guys are not going to want to miss that. So I highly suggest you guys pull up to that, man. Check it out. Tevin's definitely a fun person to talk to. And he's got a lot to say about his, what's been going on with his career and stuff. So I'm going to bring Tevin on here. So be ready for that, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to bring on, more people. My cousin Peter Nieves, is it still a fed offense for a pro fighter to hit somebody in the street? I don't know, man.
It could be.
It could be. I wouldn't test it if I was you, Pete. I'd stay out of
Leave
that.
it alone. You don't want to go to jail.
I'm gonna bring Peter Nieves on here soon this month for sure. We're gonna talk to Pete, and we're gonna talk to whatever, man. We just gonna keep this going, man, for the next 30 days, man. Let's go ahead. I rock with some of the top channels on YouTube. I say to say this: your knowledge and experience and humbleness, you will reach your channel goals. Much respect to you and Eddie and his opinion. Appreciate you guys showing love. It's all about the people who are really with me, man, that I'm really focusing on. And if it grows, it grows. You know what I mean? But the people who are here, these are the people I'm focusing on. And of course, you guys know I just dropped the YouTube instructional earlier today, jab footwork drill. So if you guys want to get an instructional, I'm still doing those. So don't think I stopped doing those. I'm still doing YouTube instructional. So go check that out. I posted that earlier today. Drop a comment, guys, in the regular comment section at the end of this for the people who are here left, and just put the time that you think you would want us to go live, just so I can look at this after. And it'll help the comment section flood up a little bit. And if you have anything you want to add when we end this live, say it in the comment section, man. Eddie, man, thank you so much. Let me go ahead and let me show a course with you in it, because yeah, because I want people to see some of them skills, man.
As soon as he throws that, boom. Okay. When I'm throwing the cross, what makes this punch so effective is now this is super advanced again, guys. This isn't for the beginners.
Ooh.
Eddie, you something, man. I would hate to have to fight you, man.
Everybody wants to know how to box a southpaw. Everybody who's a southpaw wants to learn how to box the opposite stance. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna give away all the secrets. We're gonna teach you so many great things, man. And luckily, we got a guy right here who can box both stands, orthodox and southpaw, and fast in the chambers. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna learn a lot. You guys made a very wise decision. So let's not waste no time. Let's get right into it.
Okay, guys, y'all know the deal. Y'all know the sale. Thank you for the love and support, man. And see y'all tomorrow.